Nicola Peltz-Beckham has officially broken her social media silence, and the timing could not be more telling. This moment arrives right in the middle of what has rapidly become one of the most explosive and emotionally charged celebrity family feuds in recent memory. A feud that has completely shattered the glossy, perfectly curated image the world has long associated with the Beckham family. For decades, the Beckhams were seen as the ultimate power family: global fame, success across sports and fashion, and a tight-knit household that appeared unbreakable. But now, that image has fractured in public, and the cracks are impossible to ignore. What began as quiet whispers and subtle tension has now erupted into a full-blown public fallout involving Brooklyn Beckham, his parents, David and Victoria Beckham, and his wife, Nicola Peltz-Beckham. This is not a simple disagreement or a fleeting family spat. It is a deeply emotional rupture that has unfolded in real time across social media, interviews, and carefully timed appearances. Accusations, hurt feelings, and years of unspoken resentment are now out in the open, forcing fans to re-examine everything they thought they knew about one of the most famous families in the world. The drama truly ignited in mid-January when Brooklyn Beckham, the eldest son of David and Victoria Beckham, posted a lengthy, raw, and deeply emotional message on Instagram that stunned fans across the globe. In that statement, Brooklyn accused his parents of years of emotional manipulation and control, claiming they consistently prioritized their global brand and public image over their relationship with him as a son. He described feeling trapped under expectations tied to the Beckham name, expectations that left little room for individuality, vulnerability, or personal growth. Brooklyn didn't hold back. He alleged that his parents actively attempted to undermine his marriage, questioned his wife's place in the family, and repeatedly crossed boundaries that should never be crossed. He claimed that moments meant to be private and sacred were instead turned into power struggles, with image and control taking priority over emotional support. At the center of his claims was his wedding to Nicola in April 2022, a day that should have symbolized unity, love, and a fresh start. One of the most explosive accusations was that Victoria Beckham allegedly hijacked Brooklyn and Nicola's first dance at their wedding, turning a once-in-a-lifetime moment into something that reportedly left Nicola devastated and in tears. According to Brooklyn, what should have been an intimate celebration of their love instead became a painful reminder of unresolved tension and lack of respect. This allegation sent shockwaves through the internet as it directly challenged Victoria's long-standing public image as a supportive mother and fashion icon. Brooklyn also addressed the widely reported wedding dress controversy, where Victoria was initially expected to design Nicola's gown. At the time, the situation was publicly dismissed as a misunderstanding or a scheduling issue, but Brooklyn's statement reframed the narrative entirely, suggesting that the incident symbolized deeper issues of control, resentment, and inclusion. To many fans, this revelation retroactively cast doubt on years of carefully managed public messaging surrounding the wedding. But Brooklyn's message wasn't limited to wedding drama. It painted a broader picture of long-term tension within the family, describing a childhood and young adulthood shaped by constant pressure to represent the Beckham brand. He claimed that his parents attempted to control his public image, his career path, and even the commercial use of his name. According to Brooklyn, his marriage to Nicola became a turning point, a moment of clarity that forced him to confront the reality of his upbringing. He described realizing that the dynamic he grew up with wasn't healthy for him emotionally, and that setting boundaries was necessary for his mental well-being. That clarity came at a cost. Drawing those boundaries meant distancing himself from his parents, a decision that appears to have permanently altered the family structure. Brooklyn's message was not written as an attack, but as a declaration of independence, an assertion that his life, marriage, and identity belonged to him now. As soon as the post went live, the internet erupted. Fans dissected every word, every sentence, every implication. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Some people expressed heartbreak over seeing such a famous family fall apart so publicly. Others applauded Brooklyn for speaking his truth, regardless of how uncomfortable it made people. And through all of this chaos, one person remained completely silent: Nicola Peltz-Beckham. For days, then weeks, Nicola said nothing. No statements, no comments, no cryptic captions, no indirect responses. Her silence became its own storyline. Critics accused her of pulling Brooklyn away from his family, of driving a wedge between mother and son. Supporters, on the other hand, praised her restraint, calling it classy, strategic, and emotionally mature. The longer she stayed silent, the more anticipation built around when and how she would respond. Then, near the end of January, Nicola finally returned to social media, and when she did, it wasn't with a statement or an explanation. Instead, she posted a series of intimate, serene images from a getaway with Brooklyn. The photos showed them walking hand in hand, laughing, relaxed, and deeply connected. There were quiet moments, soft smiles, and a sense of peace that stood in sharp contrast to the chaos surrounding them. There were no captions about betrayal, no emotional essays, no clarifications, just love, unity, and calm. And that silence spoke volumes. To many fans, the message was unmistakable. Nicola and Brooklyn are choosing each other. They are standing together. They are refusing to be pulled into a public war of words, even as millions scrutinize their every move. Brooklyn soon followed with his own affectionate post, reinforcing the same message. In his eyes, this situation is not about revenge or attention. It's about protecting his marriage and his mental health. Sources close to the couple say Brooklyn feels genuinely supported by Nicola in a way he never experienced before, and that her presence has allowed him to finally step out under the immense shadow of his famous last name. While Brooklyn and Nicola have leaned into unity, David and Victoria Beckham have largely remained silent publicly. They have not directly addressed Brooklyn's accusations, choosing instead to continue with their professional commitments. Victoria recently appeared in Paris, honored for her contributions to fashion, surrounded by David and their younger children, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper. The absence of Brooklyn and Nicola was impossible to ignore, and for many, it symbolized the depth of the divide. Victoria's acceptance speech included a heartfelt mention of family, a moment that many fans found emotionally complex. Some saw it as graceful and dignified, a refusal to engage in public conflict. Others interpreted it as carefully curated, reinforcing the image-first approach Brooklyn criticized in his statement. The same words carried completely different meanings, depending on who was listening. Behind the scenes, reports suggest reconciliation is anything but simple. Allegedly, any path toward repairing the relationship would require Brooklyn to distance himself from Nicola, something he has made abundantly clear he will not do. For Brooklyn, choosing his wife is not a negotiation point. It is a line in the sand, and if that ultimatum truly exists, it only deepens public sympathy for Brooklyn and Nicola while raising difficult questions about conditional love and parental control. Public reaction has remained intense and deeply divided. Social media users have revisited old interviews, analyzed facial expressions, and scrutinized past family photos for clues. Some defend David and Victoria passionately, emphasizing the pressures of raising children in the global spotlight and reminding critics that parenting is never perfect. Others argue that fame does not excuse emotional harm and that Brooklyn's pain deserves to be acknowledged regardless of how beloved his parents are. What makes this story resonate so powerfully is that beneath the celebrity, glamour, and wealth, it reflects a deeply human struggle: the struggle to set boundaries with family, the pain of choosing a partner when it creates conflict with parents, the realization that love can sometimes come with expectations and conditions. Brooklyn's story is not just about rebellion, it's about autonomy. Nicola's silence is not weakness, it's intentional restraint. Even the smallest moments now carry weight. Harper Beckham, the youngest child, recently shared a heartfelt message directed at her brother Romeo, which fans interpreted as a subtle attempt to hold on to family connection amid the fracture. Every post, every absence, every word or lack of one is now viewed through the lens of this conflict, and the story is far from over. Industry insiders are already speculating about potential interviews, documentaries, or even tell-all books. Whether Brooklyn and Nicola choose to speak further remains uncertain, but public interest shows no sign of fading. This feud has moved beyond gossip. It has become a cultural moment, a reflection of how fame, family, and personal truth collide. At the center of it all stands a young man trying to define himself outside a legendary surname, a woman standing firmly beside her husband, and parents grappling with the reality that their child's story may no longer align with the narrative they've spent decades presenting to the world. There are no clear villains here, only unresolved emotions, deep history, and a family navigating heartbreak on the biggest stage imaginable. As this saga continues to unfold, one thing is undeniable: the Beckham family will never be seen the same way again. And with every new post, appearance, or carefully chosen silence, the story continues to evolve. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.